传送啊，拿到而家一條傳送。
On September 22nd, 2025, Super Typhoon Ragasa made landfall in southern China, marking one of the most destructive weather events of the year. With sustained winds exceeding 195 kilometers per hour and gusts even higher, Ragasa carried not only destructive winds, but also unprecedented rainfall.
桥断了，桥在这边没有了，没有桥了，谢谢。
While the powerful winds caused widespread infrastructure damage, it was the torrential floods triggered by this typhoon that became the most severe and life-threatening aspect of the disaster. After devastating parts of the Philippines and Taiwan earlier in September, Ragasa moved across the South China Sea, strengthening into a super typhoon before striking China's Guangdong province. The storm also impacted Hainan and Fujian, with its outer bands stretching into Hong Kong and Macau.
车子，你看，哎呦，玻璃都破了。我的天哪，台九线所有的东西，一楼都吹走。
Authorities had already mobilized emergency responses days in advance, evacuating nearly 1.9 million people in Guangdong to minimize casualties. The rains brought by Ragasa were relentless. In many regions, rainfall totals reached 200 to 400 millimeters within 24 hours, overwhelming rivers, reservoirs, and urban drainage systems. In Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Foshan, streets quickly turned into rivers, with water levels rising above car roofs. Smaller towns and rural communities experienced flash floods that washed away homes, bridges, and crops. One of the most dramatic impacts occurred along the Pearl River Delta, where a combination of heavy rains and storm surge caused water to rise to dangerous levels. Several tributaries overflowed simultaneously, forcing thousands of residents to flee by boat or wade through waist-deep water. In Hainan, localized flooding submerged entire farmlands, dealing a devastating blow to agriculture.
夸张哦！冲上来了，真的很夸张哎！啊，桥不见了，桥掉了。
Major cities struggled with urban flooding despite extensive drainage networks. In Shenzhen, subway lines and underground tunnels filled rapidly, leading to the suspension of public transportation. Roads were gridlocked as vehicles stalled in the rising waters. In Guangzhou, entire residential complexes were cut off, with residents waiting on rooftops for rescue teams. Emergency crews worked around the clock, using inflatable boats to bring stranded families to safety. In Hong Kong and Macau, Ragasa triggered record rainfall that flooded low-lying coastal districts. The seawall in parts of Hong Kong was breached by storm surges, and combined with intense rainfall, some neighborhoods experienced flooding not seen in decades. The flooding from Ragasa has caused widespread displacement. Tens of thousands of people sought refuge in temporary shelters after their homes were inundated. Schools, hospitals, and factories were forced to shut down, while electricity and water supply were disrupted across large swaths of southern China. Early estimates suggest that agricultural losses alone could exceed billions of yuan, with rice paddies, vegetable farms, and orchards completely submerged. The humanitarian toll is also significant. In Taiwan and the Philippines, where Ragasa struck earlier, dozens of fatalities and missing persons were reported. In China, while mass evacuations saved many lives, floodwaters claimed casualties, with some residents swept away by powerful currents. Emergency responders continue to search for missing individuals as flood conditions slowly recede. Ragasa underscores the growing risk of climate-driven flooding in China's coastal and riverine regions. Scientists warn that warming oceans are fueling stronger typhoons, while urban expansion into flood-prone zones increases vulnerability. With rising sea levels, storm surges like those seen in Guangdong and Hainan are becoming even more dangerous. This disaster has renewed urgent calls for improved flood defenses, smarter urban planning, and resilient infrastructure. Investments in drainage systems, coastal barriers, and early warning technology are being prioritized to better protect vulnerable communities. Thank you for watching. If you found this update informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest real-time disaster news. Stay safe, stay informed, and let's continue to support communities affected by these extreme events. Your awareness can make a difference.